Sports card shows take me home to the bargain box is where I belong. Dollar boxes take me home. Value bins where I belong. No bangers.
Oh my gosh.
Episode
I'm gonna cry. This is
55. I'm joined by Rod from Picking and Punching Cards, Cary from American Arbitrage Cards. I am Tim from Over the Years Sports, and we are joined again by everybody's favorite special guest, Mr. Big Tom. From Big Tom's Cards?
Oh, that's
look at that.
Money Manziel.
Wow. That's my, so, Tim,
We're definitely going to strip club.
As a guy born and raised in West Virginia, I'm not real sure how to take that intro.
You want to know what's interesting is that song was written about Maryland and not West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did he say West Virginia?
They wanted. I don't know why they changed it. I think they changed it because it sounded better with West Virginia because it aligned more with country music as opposed to Maryland. But that song is written about Maryland.
Maryland. Yeah, that doesn't
sound as good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. You're
But
right.
it's about Maryland, actually.
Well, we got a big special guest today, Big Tom here. If you guys do not know, Tom was on here a couple months back, and we actually got a lot of positive feedback on there. And the reason why we want to have Big Tom back on here is a couple different reasons. Number one, gives us a pulse and kind of check in on the card market because he is a card dealer. He does not sell on eBay. He does not sell online. He barely has social media, but you can follow him on Instagram at Big Tom's Cards. But he does set up and he does all probably 90%, 95% of your deals at card shows. And since we go to card shows every single week, we thought we would have you on here and talk a little about a little bit from the buyer's perspective and the dealer's perspective on here. But I think the biggest thing for us to start off with is last time we had you on, you were focusing a lot on dollar boxes. And if anyone has seen my video, I bought out Tom's dollar boxes at one of the card shows here. So let's talk about this progression from, I guess, building your business. And we always talk about nickels and dimes go to dollars, but how you have transitioned now from being a dollar box guy to more of a $20, $25 to $100 range.
Well, like I said last time, everybody started. The dollar box is a great place to start. It's a great place to get in the business. But I've worked my way up to that, worked my way up beyond that, let's say, not knocking dollar boxes, but at the dollar box game or even the $5 game, the repackers do not come into play. And to be successful as many shows as we're doing, my business model, I'll share with you a little bit. I've learned and gathered up some guys or teamed up with some guys that repack and buy off of me consistently, but they are only interested in cards $25 and above. So if I take a card to a card show and I don't sell it in 3 to 4 weeks, I know I automatically have a buyer for it. Where the dollar bin stuff, we'll talk about in a little bit, but the dollar bin stuff is harder to do that for. Like I don't have guaranteed sales. And I just wanted to expand my market to where, if I can't move in 3 or 4 weeks, but I got a guy that's going to buy it from me and put it on whatnot, it's perfect. I may not be getting the full percentage for it, but I at least get money back and I can invest that money into something else. Then talk a little bit about Rod, where Rod bought my stuff out. The flea market that we were at was very good, but at the flea market actually raised their prices on the booths and stuff. And it was just doing 4 shows a month now. It was like, man, do I want to pay the extra there or do I just want to keep doing the shows? And since I'm not doing the flea market, that was one of the reasons I also sold all that out.
Okay.
The flea market did have some play in that.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. And, Cary, you bought a lot from his dollar boxes over the years and stuff like that. And you have actually seen him progress. I guess the biggest thing here going forward here is from a bargain. I'm just curious in this one. And because we see guys that bring the big dollar cards to the show. How many times actually people show up with bargain box stuff, low dollar stuff that want to sell you that at card shows now?
I still get offered a good little bit. This weekend, we did the, Rod was actually there. We did a show in Ocala. It was the very first show the guy had ever promoted. Great show. I thought the guy did excellent promoting the show. He was on social media, went to other shows, promoted it. Really good show. But at that show, we actually had the opportunity to buy some dollar boxes, buy some bins, buy some stuff out. So when I say amount of it, it's kind of tough because if you get the opportunity to buy it right, you're still playing in it a little bit. But the one example this weekend, a guy brought up 2 Jackson Dart hollows of the the rookie card, the silvers, and the only way he'd sell me those cards if I took a whole box full of like junk wax and insert some plain base cards and stuff. So you end up buying 3 or 4 or 500 extra cards you want just to get 2.
Is that worth it though? At the end of the day, to do something like that?
It is. Like I brought them home and maybe I sorted out like $50 worth of cards out of it. And to be honest, the rest of the stuff I'm going to donate to my dad's neighbor.
Okay.
My dad's neighbor is probably an 8-10-year-old boy that's starting to get collected the cards, and he really likes trying to build sets and base cards and stuff. So I donate a lot of stuff to him.
I know, Tim, you always talk about comps at card shows, and how
FYO comps.
Yes. So I know you see it all the time at tables and stuff like that. So I know you probably want to chime in on this, because I know Tom wants to talk about some comps too, with people showing cards and trying to show off their comps in the show. But like, we really don't deal with a lot of comps at the bargain box level, but you see it all the time unfold in front of you. So do you have any questions for him in regards to comping, or because I know you have a strong opinion on this?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so much that goes into comps, and I think that's the biggest problem, is that people, and I think this is on both ends, both dealers. And it's weird because now we're at this stage in cards where buyers are sellers now too, right? And dealers are buyers now also, right? So it's like you can go. I can be at a table digging through a box, and I can see a dealer buy, a dealer sell, a buyer sell, and a buyer buy all at the same time.
Interesting.
Right?
It's right, 100%.
So like, I think for me the biggest issue now is there's so much that goes into comps, and it's difficult to do that in a timely manner at a card show, right? Because if you can look at a comp, right? Now, when you look at that comp, you have to look at the card, right? Sometimes the card might be damaged, and that might affect the comp, right? Yeah. The card might be a jersey number match, which might affect the comp, right? The card is the card sell at auction? Did the card sell at buy it now? Is there an error in the listing? Because you guys know, like, I've been going back and forth with people on that super short print that I found, and the guy showed me the Shohei Ohtani Red Prism 2023 Platinum Anniversary, which is easily a $1,000 card. The person that listed that card just listed it as a Red Prism. No mention of the super short print, anything like that, and they listed it for $60, right? Like, and that you can't use that comp. Right? Like, that's not going to be a viable comp. So for me, it's like, and then some people are like, oh, I only use Card Ladder, or I only use Market Mover. Neither one of those things are downloaded on my phone. Right? You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, then you have people who will show you comps on eBay, but won't. Now you obviously have the problem with eBay where they don't have the strikeout on the price anymore. So you have to, if you're using eBay for your comps, you have to use TerraPeak, because that will show you the actual sold price, as opposed to, a green sold, and underneath of it says best offer. You don't know if they took a best offer or not. So like, there's so many things that go into comping that a lot of times both dealers and buyers, and they both play both roles now, are stubborn in the ways that they go about comping. And then it's like, do some people only want to take the dealer only wants to take the last highest sold comp. A buyer only wants to take the last lowest sold comp, right? So like, how much time does it really take? Are you willing to put into going through comps at a table is what's interesting to me at this point.
Tom, my opinion on this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. My opinion on this, the guys that don't comp a lot, where you don't have this stuff, I hear this story that Tim just did, or this rant, a lot. If you're into comping, it's not that hard, and it's not that hard to do. It's very quick, and it's easy to knock out that stuff. Rod's got a video coming out where he sold me a Kobe Bryant card last weekend. I think you'll see in a video. I don't know when its relationship to this podcast, but you'll see it. We literally brings me the card. I look it up. There's sales, $49, $48, $35, $30, $40. They're kind of all over, but we can see them. So what I basically do, the last two were both 48 and 49. When you got two consistently at that, I valued the card at $48. Whenever I see, let's say I'm a guy that averages the 3 comps, 3 or 4 last comps. When you see something that's way off, sometimes it's not just low, Tim. It can also be
It'll be
ridiculously
high.
high.
Yeah.
And that's the whole problem with the eBay going on right now. There's a whole different issue with eBay, but the taking so long to take down some of the comps, guys are really affecting it before the shows, and it's a scam thing that I think is one of the biggest scams out there. So when you see something really jump up right before a big show, be careful of it, because buddies can go in and pop up the comps themselves and bring it to a table and sell it off.
Oh, let me ask you this really fast. So you value that card at $48. Now, what if I show you that there's only 3 available right now on the open market, and the cheapest one is $75?
What all is out there, like, it does not. I don't put that into perspective at all.
See, me as a seller, if I'm selling a card to somebody and they tell me, like, I have a card right now, an Arun Escobar, right? But first Bowman, super short print, a retro Bowman logo foil. The comps on that card are like $18 right now. And to me, like, that's ridiculous. A, because I think that those people didn't know how short print that card was. And some of them are on auction, right? Now, the cheapest ones that were listed were like $75. Now, I listed mine at $45. I was interested in the card, and they said, well, what would you be at? And I'd be like, right now, lowest I would do would be $35 ship for you right now. He's like, unfortunately, the best I could offer you is $15, and he sent me a screenshot of all the $18 comps. Like, for me, like, I don't value that card, and I'm not going to go back and forth and argue with the guy. We're just not on the same page. But I think that it does play a role to a certain extent.
But as a buyer, you 100% should be looking at what the current market is available on eBay. 100%.
But you also got to remember, a lot of the. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just saying, like, if it's 48, if you value it at 48 and there's currently ones available in good condition at 32, I wouldn't even pay 32. I would if I really wanted the card, I'd just go buy it on eBay. That's the thing. I think a lot of people going into card shows are only looking at comps and they're not factoring in the current available market.
But let me say one comment to this. The stuff that Cary and Tim both talk about, and the guys you talk about when you do that, are based off Bowman stuff or prospecting stuff. At a show, that stuff does not come to my table like we talked about before. When you're talking about that stuff, you're talking about the more rare oddities that I probably wouldn't even pick out of a guy's box to buy, or guys aren't bringing to sell to me. Those are eBay items, not show items. There is a difference in that. Like, if you were talking to me and I was an eBay comp guy, I have a totally different perspective. But I'm not going to see his cards coming to my table, and it's not going to be something I buy. There is oddities of that. The Bowman U prospect's one of those huge ones. You know what I mean? Has there been enough comps on, like, when the quarterback's been hot this weekend? Like last weekend, the quarterback from Miami, his stuff hadn't gained popularity yet like it did this week. I could have bought it Sunday, right? But I actually told some guys, hey, you may want to hold on to that and see if they win this weekend. You know what I mean? Some of that, I don't want to say big. It's a smaller market, right? We all agree that the Bowman stuff or the prospecting is a smaller market.
my example was baseball, Bowman baseball, not necessarily Bowman football, which I think is a big difference, obviously.
Right.
But I think there's a middle ground between the two, because like Tim, like if those comps were from 3-4 months ago, last sales, yes, the market is going to change, but I think that you were fair with it's okay to, if you have the next card that's available and you're a little bit higher than the last sold comp, I don't see anything wrong in that on there. Now, you may take a while for that card to sell, but I don't think that, because that's the only way the market actually moves in one direction or another. Because if he makes you an offer of $15 and that's going to be $3 below the last comp, we're at the end of the day, what's going to happen next head comes by? Then he sees that $15 comp, he's going to offer you 12 or so on.
Well, I think it's important to differentiate this too. Like, say there was a card and it was available for 32, but it's the off season. Nobody's thinking about Bowman prospects right now. Yeah. I could understand not wanting to come down on it right now.
Yeah,
right.
But as a buyer, at the same time, you could understand from the other side where they wouldn't want to come up either because there's others available. So a lot of times it feels like those are the best cards just to sit on, right, for like a month,
well, to be honest,
3 months till they go hot again.
Whenever I'm going through a box, let's say, Cary, you brought up a Zion box, set it on my table, and go, Tom, what would you be interested in? The stuff that's in question like that, or those cards, I'm probably not purchasing anyways. I'm probably not taking those cards out of the box. I want the cards that are more liquid, more movable, more, not the cards in question anyways. Let's say a guy brings up a Zion box that's got 200 cards in it. I may only sort out 10. Well, what 10 cards am I looking to buy? I'll pay you 85, 90% on the 10 cards that I know I can move fast. You know what I mean? It's not like that's not a card I would pull. It's nothing against your guys' argument, but it doesn't interfere with me because that's not a card I would take.
Because
If
you're
that makes
looking at
sense.
you're trying to buy the top 10 to 20% out there where where we're digging through bargain boxes and stuff like that, and we're finding those oddities that have value, that were underpriced, and that we are going to flip online. But we're making, you're doing the 80-20 rule. We're going to 80% of your money from 20% of your top tier cards at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm looking at something I can flip in a 2-3 week show span.
Yeah,
And
you're
granted, you guys
getting
are looking for a bigger money profit wise, but it may take you longer to move.
You're
I
getting a
want your
Drake
Kobe's,
May.
your-
We're getting a Joe Horn numbered to 150 from 2004. It's a little
Exactly.
different.
That I would take. Well, for example, I took a chance this weekend and got a Brian Urlacher game used patch. There hasn't been a comp on that in 2022. That's kind of like the same scenario Tim's talking about. I didn't only have a low comp. I offered a guy $15 more than the last comp that was 3 years ago because you're not going to find that card. So I do agree that we don't use comps all the time, but that's not honestly something I would buy a lot. You know what I mean? It's not a quick purchase for me.
But see, there's a big difference too between you buying because you're a dealer and other
Yes.
people buying, right?
Right.
Like, and even people who are buying to flip is different than a buyer who's a dealer.
Correct.
Does do you agree with that? Right?
Exactly. Like we talked about the last time, the reason you guys do so well prospecting in the dollar box stuff is because it's stuff we don't want to take the time to mess with.
Yeah.
If we wanted to take the time to mess with it, you guys wouldn't have a place to go dig. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that sounds right or polite or correct.
No, I
It's kind of the
totally
truth,
agree
you know
with
what I
you.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
1000%.
I want the
reality
stuff.
of it.
I want the star players. I want the stuff that the guys are interested in. Because I literally have, like this weekend, I'm going to the show Friday and Saturday. So between the 2 days, I have roughly 12 to 14 hours to sell cards this week. You guys are selling 24/7 for 7 days.
Yeah.
I
Very
have
true.
12 to 14 hours. I have to have my stuff move.
No,
That's
that makes
a
sense.
good point.
But what's interesting too, though, is I feel like, yes, there's a lot of differences there. But when you just said that, it made me realize there's also a lot of similarities, right? Because I go to the show this weekend, right? I bought 314 cards, okay?
Right.
I have to move those 314 cards before Saturday. At least a majority of them, because damn, Rod just want to take over everything. Okay,
Yeah.
This ain't wrestling promo. He was getting ready to cut a wrestling promo. I got to move a majority of those cards by the next weekend because I need to go buy more cards at the card show. Right? So, like, from it in that sense, there's a lot of similarities between somebody who does 24/7 card selling and somebody who does card show selling, right? Yeah. Because you need new inventory too, so you need to move the stuff, right? And the same thing works with somebody like me. Like, if I get to by the end of the week, because there's certain cards I'm going to list, right, where I'm already making my money, like that super short print card I got a couple weeks ago, because I remember just now that we're in the future. I'm going to make money off of that card by listing it online. I'm not going to sell, because that card's going to a collector, 1,000%. That card's going to sell for $50 to $100. But I'm not going to run that through a live show because there's not going to be anybody in the room who will even understand it. I guarantee you I could probably run that card through a live stream, and if I didn't say what it was, nobody would bid on that card. Like, that's how crazy card. Stuff is that on, yeah. Right? So, like, for me, I need to, if I get to, like, the end of the week and I still have, like, 100 cards left that haven't sold, I'm just going to run those at, $1, $1.30, and I'm still making money at this point. But, like, I need that stuff gone because I need to buy new cards this weekend.
You brought up an interesting point there, Tim, how when we do a live show, and Cary, I hear you talk about this stuff all the time, and Tim, too, where you guys do your live shows, about you guys are helping to educate or almost sell the cards, because you might show stuff that people have no idea about, but you have to educate your public. So I'm actually kind of curious, and Cary, I mean, what do you think the difference between how much does Tom have to educate someone compared to how much you have to educate your audience while you're doing a show? Do you think it's a big difference between the two?
It depends. Like, a lot of the stuff where I have to heavily educate somebody, it's not going to go through a live show because it's just not going to get the kind of value that it should. So that is something that would sit, as a buy it now until somebody makes an offer. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of that because especially with what I'm doing or Tim's doing, we have to let people know why this is rare, why this is special. Whereas I think with what Tom's focusing on or what he's beginning to focus more on is the more liquid stuff. People know it's liquid. And the people who don't know it's liquid aren't even going to see it because it already sold to the person who knew it was liquid and bought it. So, whether it's the people, buying it out for whatnot or whatever. So, I think there's the less you have to educate people, the better your situation is probably as a card flipper, card reseller. Because if you have to educate, then there's something, in the market that's tough to make it a quick sale.
Well, to me, in my opinion, is if I have to educate them at a show, a lot of times they're just walking past the card. I can't stop everybody to educate it on it. They're going to look like that Pete Crow Armstrong card you see me get the other day with the bat. The Paw Patrol bat. I don't know how many people just walk by that card and like one guy said this week, well, why are you asking $60 on a base Pete Crow Armstrong card? You know what I mean? Like
the only thing that you could do
educate.
Yeah.
But how
many
how many
could put stickers on the top loader that say image variation or SSP?
Mine say that. You guys know I put super short print variation on top with the price, but still, guys.
That stuff doesn't bother me either. Because I know I keep referencing this card, but it's interesting because I've gotten a lot of interesting conversation out of just posting that card. It doesn't bother me when somebody doesn't know, and they want to nose up or they want to say something smart ass, that stuff doesn't bother me because those are the same people who are probably spending $10 for a $2 card that's in a one touch, right?
It doesn't bother me at all either. But the only problem is how many people walk by without saying anything. That's my point.
I'm sure a lot of people.
You know what I'm saying?
But those aren't the people who you're targeting to buy that card though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the end of the day. So, Tim, you did mention something earlier, about card ladder, market movers. You talked about eBay and Terapeak, and this is something that I definitely want to discuss. Is the problem with the comp system now? Because I know Tom talked about it. You actually sent me over a couple of photos. I'll show them on the screen here and stuff like that. But it's been people that just use eBay only, it's been very difficult. And Tim made a great point that you need to use Terapeak and not eBay because eBay has changed up their system and kind of how they do certain things. And here, we'll show you guys a couple examples what I'm referring to here. Give me a second here.
Do you ever come across, while he's pulling them up, Big Tom, I think this is a good question for you. Do you ever come across people who are I only use card ladder for my comps, or I only use market movers for my comps, and it won't pay attention to any other comps that you may provide?
Yes. 90% of the people at the show is using card ladder. Okay. It's just what comes to my table, what they bring. And the reason I showed these, or I had sent these to Rod, I got this off a guy last week that was bringing one of these cards up to sell me at the show. So he showed me this card, and I looked up the exact same card on Card Ladder, and as you can tell here, there was no best offer, no anything accepted. Right? This guy's
but that is a best offer though.
No, but look at this. When you click on the next one, it doesn't show. See it?
But I know this says 150, right? Go back to the last picture, Rod. I'm pointing to the screen, you guys can see me point to the screen.
It has
no bangers on 3. What are we doing?
So you see here, this is what I was talking about earlier. You see how it says it's 150 in green, and it says or best offer underneath, right? In the old days, that 150 would have a cross through it.
Correct.
Now this one just says best offer. So in my mind, there's a 50% chance that this card sold for less than $150.
So Rod, scroll through again.
Yeah, give me a second. I gotta pull.
Rod's not good with PowerPoint.
No, it's not PowerPoint. It's just individual photos. I gotta.
So this is what the card first comes up as on my eBay. Okay, you see the 150, but
before we continue, since Rod's taking a long time, this guy brought you this card to sell to you in a CGC or Raw or
this exact card.
This is that card. Interesting. When he comes up to you with this card, does he say, "Are you interested in buying or?"
Yes, he asked if I wanted to buy it.
Did he have a price for you?
It wasn't this exact card, but it was a 10, in which this already lies and says it's a pop 1. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we see the card ladder.
125.
Okay, but now show the other eBay one. So once I hit refresh 3 times on my eBay and refresh the first initial screen, guess what shows up?
It shows up with a cross in of it.
It shows up with the crosshair in it. That's where the problem's getting to be at on eBay right now. When you sketch the card, so if you look at that, that's how it should look when it's had a best offer.
And there was original.
There's original. There's after refreshings.
Yep. And
see, that's why I say you have to use Terapeak.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know that. That's the biggest
Terapeak.
thing.
You said what?
A lot of people don't have Terapeak, or a lot
But
of
if
people
you have
don't even know what it is.
eBay, you have Terapeak,
But-
right?
No,
I think
you have to have a store.
Yeah, you have to have an eBay store.
Oh.
Yeah, to have Terapeak. Yep. So like that's where the
But
problem.
you gotta
arises.
pay for Card Ladder.
Yeah, but it's fairly cheap.
But if you have a PSA account, like if you get stuff graded, you get Card Ladder for free.
Well, I think everybody who's watching or listening, shout out to the Spotifyers, by the way. I'm pretty sure they know that I do not have a PSA account. Rod is my PSA account. Bel Air Sports Card Shop is my PSA account. I do not have a PSA account.
Your box in the corner, which is covered in mothballs and dust and spider webs and whatever.
That'll be sitting on there until Tag takes over in 5 years and becomes the premier grading spot.
That's when Tim sends it off the PSA at that point.
Yeah, he's finally gonna get those Jordan Reed.
Thinking about
the
grading
Jordan
this.
Reeds. The Luke McCaffreys will get graded by then.
I gotta remove this.
How
Stan
about this?
Mikita?
How about this? You guys ever seen one of these before?
Is that box coming to the Banger Card Show, Tim? Am I going to be able to buy anything out of that box?
No, probably not. This is a 1974 Nabisco Sugar Daddy, Dennis Hull.
You could be my
hockey
sugar
card.
daddy. That's what is that card even worth? Like what is?
You can't find it.
You can't find it. So you just make.
I've kind of determined that the Banger Card Show should just be one giant bowl of sports cards and top loaders in the middle of a show, right? Just one giant bowl, and then we just let people in at a certain time, and they just dive in and search, and they elbow each other.
Like
Everything's
the
$1.
Denim.
We're gonna put some stuff in there that's worth at least $1.25. It's gonna be worth your time, but.
We have to figure out where we really got to start planning because we're going to be running. This is going to take like 8 months to plan, so we really got to start planning.
And if we don't have just a random like ex-celebrity singer guy on there, I'm gonna be so pissed. We just got to get like the lead singer of some band from like 1987.
I think we're gonna have to.
The Fine Young Cannibals need to be playing or something like that.
I know exactly. We can do it the same. We make a whole weekend of it. The same weekend that we do the Tartar Sauce State. Game day. We can literally do
because we're going to go to the Dallas Card Show. We're going to go to Leaf headquarters, and we're going to do game day at Tarleton State University. Yeah. So that's already, we can't do no bangers that weekend. No, it'd be Bangtown show that weekend.
We can do the Bangtown show in the Dallas Card parking lot.
No, I feel like it's an airport show. I feel like Bangtown would be an airport show.
We going in and out real quick. This is serious, Tim. Bangtown Card Show has to happen. This has to be a legitimate, real business venture here, okay? Because people are invested, okay? I think we have to do it somewhere.
I want rules, though, man. I don't want anything but bargain boxes.
No, listen, we're not. It's not. We'll have a bargain box room and we'll have a showcase room.
No. So we're already having a difference of opinion.
We
have to do it in North Carolina because I feel like that's the middle point from Florida and D.C.
Tom, do we have your commitment right now for to be the first vendor committed to the No Bangers?
I'm committed.
It's called Bangtown. Thank you very much. Not No Bangers.
As long as there's shirts. I want a shirt.
Yeah,
it's going to be shirtless. It's going to be a shirtless show.
Yeah.
I tried to do this show without a shirt, and Rod wouldn't let me.
Yes, because no one wants to see that. Your wife doesn't even want to see that.
Listen, did you know I've become? Did you know I've become a kettlebell bro now? Did I tell you about this?
What?
No.
You put blue masking tape on your nipples. We'll let you do the shirt tape. With blue masking tape on your nipples.
I'm sure I have.
No scotch tape.
Yeah,
Look,
I'll say this.
You're not a real card dealer if your trash can doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about this? You could have at Bangtown. We could have bigger cards. Okay. I'll let you have whatever card you want in the showcase, but every single card has to be paid in ones. So if you buy something for $250, you have to pay it all in ones.
And Cary wants nothing but one touches only. No top loaders, no penny sleeves.
Oh, if I see a one touch, you're expelled from Bangtown.
Give me 1 second. I got to show something to Tim.
You will get immediately expelled from Bangtown, which you don't want to get expelled from Bangtown, guys. It's going to be a hoot.
No, what are you doing, Tim?
All right.
He has the smallest nipples ever. What's wrong with you, dude? Oh my gosh. Thumbnail. We just got a thumbnail. I love it. Use it. Use it
for the Spotify.
We only use painter's tape for nipples here.
Oh my god, that was a participation trophy body. I didn't even get a trophy for my body, but you get a participation trophy.
So
sorry, guys.
I would like to say here, going forward, Tim has just alienated every single future guest we have coming on the show. For the Spotifyers out there, Tim just showed us his nipple covered in painter's tape because that's the progression. It goes from your nipples to the cards.
I didn't even know nipples could be that small, Tim. What is
No,
wrong with
they're
your
actually
nipples?
pretty big.
No, but put your shirt down. Damn it! What are you doing? This shit.
That's not big. That's tiny, dude.
It's normal size. You have to remember, I was a world-class athlete, so like my sculpture of my body is still in a.
I am comparing against the Greek god body. I forgot about that.
Tom,
Bangtown 2026.
All right.
Please don't sue us because I already know you're wearing glasses and you may be blind again. So don't sue us.
I got something I want Tim to see. I know Tim's a hater of one touches, and so with Cary. This is a regular 35.1 touch. And I know you guys don't like shipping them. Tim, have you seen the new ultra thin ones?
I've heard about it, yeah.
Look how thin that thing is. Then you could ship it in your box since you don't leave the plain white envelopes anyways. And then you could have the nice presentation. I mean, there's a huge difference in them, guys.
Oh, there is a big difference.
There's a huge difference.
It's not that I hate one touches, right?
I hate what they represent.
I hate what it's just like everything else, right? Like humans, you can always depend on humans to ruin good things, right? So like the people of the card bro frat row of the sports card circuit have destroyed what one touches are meant for, right? So like if you were gonna put a Ellie De La Cruz Bowman second-year prospect paper card in a one-touch, that's a strike.
A 2023 green mosaic DeAndre Swift in a one-touch? Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right.
There is a place for them, guys.
Yeah, I get that. There's a place for everything.
It's in
in my box over here with used penny sleeves and card dividers.
I'll tell you what, though, with the price of top loaders going where they're at and the price of penny sleeves right now, dude, you're only about 20 cents away from buying a one touch.
Well, listen, don't tell the people on my Facebook page about that because they went absolutely nuclear on me for complaining about people. Okay, let's take a poll here really quick.
Oh, here we go.
What are your thoughts? We're going to go around the table. What are your thoughts on people using magic markers on one touches? Is there a place in the hobby for magic marker on one touches?
Absolutely
Rod?
Not on one touches or top loaders or penny sleeves. I hate it.
Cary?
Yeah, no, there's no place for that.
Big Tom?
No.
Okay. People in the chat, let me know because apparently I'm just a cheap, broke person and somebody called me a plastic Karen. Because I complained about people using magic marker on top loaders. What?
You write on your top loader?
No, I don't. I put up a picture complaining about it. I said, please never ever do this. Never write ever. Use a magic marker on top loaders. And people thought I was the top loader Nazi. And like they literally are just for like a week now. Every morning I wake up, every night before I go to bed, I get
What if they cover up the marker? What if they cover that up with some painter's tape though, so you don't even see it?
I'm gonna make a short. I'm gonna go over all the comments and that people left me of on that post. I'm just gonna keep milking it. Somebody was like really upset. They're like, "You're just trying to get attention," and I was like, "No, I really just dislike people who use magic marker on top loaders. Like, what are we talking about?"
I bought from a Whatnot show the other day and probably bought 18 to 20 cards off this new show, and he had everything in one touches. I get him, and he took the big fat Sharpie, the fat one, and literally wrote the number of the sale, what number it was, like item number 149. Clear across the back of a one touch.
That was one of the excuses. Somebody was like, "You don't understand. Live streamers, like there's not a lot of time." I was like, "Bro, I've been selling cards live for 7 years, and I've never written on a top loader with a magic marker. What are we talking about?"
So
if
what
you
you
get
do
another
is
use for painter's tape, Tim.
But no, but you can literally get stickers and write out your numbers pre-show. You just prep your show, and then when you go to your show, you just take your sticker off.
Or
put
even
it
better
on.
than stickers, use painter's tape because you could just peel it right off the top loader once it's shipped out or whatever. Or once you want to ship it out, and then it doesn't do anything, but you can still stay organized.
So one thing I definitely want to talk about, I know Tom has a strong opinion on this one too, here is let's talk about some sports card show etiquette. Because I will tell you this. When I was this was a very small show that I was at the last weekend, maybe 40, 50 tables there. And I saw people walking around with giant boxes of brown boxes with stuff. Okay. I saw when I was in the Tampa show, I saw
what?
they were bringing in the cards in a giant brown box. Like we're talking I'm not talking about
like a banker's box?
No, like a big, like an Amazon shipping box, but it was like full of cards. I've seen that before.
Dealers or sellers or buyers?
No. Buyers at shows are bringing that to try to sell to dealers. Okay, customers are trying to do that. I've seen people at shows.
No David Wright 101s in that box, I imagine. 105s, huh?
I've seen people
no interest
walk around,
if there was.
Yeah, no interest. I've seen people walk around with wagons full of wax that weren't dealers at the shows and try to sell. Guy tried to sell me a $3,200 box of Tom Brady's rookie year. Well, I wasn't going to buy.
Oh, he saw you and he was like, "I know that guy wants to buy."
I see a sucker a mile away.
But I guess the question I'm going to ask all of you guys here, and I'll start with you, Tim, is what's the respect point for a dealer and for the other buyers of the show? Is I've gone to sell cards to dealers where there's a guy sitting there for like an hour because he brought a massive box of stuff. So like, what do you think the respect lies? Because dealers are only going to buy the top 10% of those cards. So, do you recommend people bring in entire, would you bring in a 3,000 count box or something to go through? Like, what is the respect?
I mean, it depends on the show. Like, because y'all seen it, I don't even know if y'all saw good examples of it at the National, but like at like Philly, right? The Philly card show or the Chantilly card show, like some of these bigger shows where it's, 1,000+ vendors, right? There are people who buy a table or buy a booth and there's no cards at the booth.
Correct. Yep.
It's literally just a table and there's two guys with laptops and they're buying, right?
I get that.
So like, yeah, if you want to be, if your objective is to go to the show and sell your cards and you bring that 3-row box and you see what they buy, I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I mean, I don't do that. I'm not selling cards at a show. I'm going to a show to buy cards. So, like it's, if you want to sell your cards, you bring it however you want. But I will tell you, there's a lot of people that set up at these shows, that vendors that are snobs, right? And so like you could show them a nice card and they'll be like, nah, you're right. And it's not even like, I don't mind them
say they're
saying,
snobs,
they're snobs. I don't mind them saying no to buying the card, but don't be an asshole about it, right?
You're saying the way they say it to you. Okay.
Exactly.
Especially in this day and age where every table's buying. What makes your table any different than any other table? Especially if you're not treating people cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So like, all I gotta say is this: if you're doing it for the first time, make sure you got thick skin because you're gonna be like. By the time you hit like an hour and a half of trying to sell your card at the show, you're gonna be in the cafeteria eating a $6 hot dog, like ready to cry, and you're gonna be like, my wife is gonna kill me if I don't sell this card today, right? Like that's how you're be prepared for that feeling.
To elaborate on that, I think what Tim's really referring to is like, when people go to a show for the first time, they're not bringing their Jordans and their Kobe's and their Shoheis. They're bringing like a David Wright. 1 out of 5,
not even. I have seen people, and if you frequent card shops, right? Like I go to card shops also a lot, and so like there's people who call in the shop or walk into the shop and they're like, I got some cards to sell, and they're like, okay, yeah, what do you got? And they pull out a binder and it's like $92, like and they think they're like, but I sold this card on eBay for $14,000, and it's like. So, like, you get a lot of that, too. You'd be surprised how many people will show up and, like, try to sell, like, dollar box cards thinking that they have, like, $100 plus cards. So, like, it's an entire different realm aspect of the hobby of card shows. So I mean, like, I don't judge anybody. You guys know that, like, except for like assholes. Like, I judge you. I judge all of you assholes.
Me personally?
Not you
What?
assholes,
No.
but
What?
the assholes at shows.
Okay, can we stop saying a-hole?
Am I? Well, I don't say that. I swear they
can.
cursed on CNN now.
Yeah, but just don't say it 15 times in a row.
Okay, sorry, but yeah, those people. I just want to make sure they hear me loud and clear.
I think they heard you the
because
first
I
time.
know a lot of y'all. I know a lot of y'all big time guys are watching this podcast, and you don't want anybody to know.
No big time
definitely
guys watching this podcast.
Yeah,
That's-
1,000%. Every big time person in the sports car world watching
Yeah,
this
CEO
podcast.
of Fanatics, whatever your name
watching.
is, you're watching.
All those guys,
You're watching.
But yeah, I'm being long-winded. You guys get the drift.
So, Tom, what about you, man? I mean,
You want to let Cary go first?
yeah, Cary, what's your opinion on people bringing
Cary
like,
doesn't even remember what the question was.
Honestly, rephrase the question because I was just mesmerized by whatever Tim was
should
spewing.
there be a respect to the buyers and to the sellers at the card shows about the amount of cards that people bring into a card show to a dealer to try to sell to a dealer, in respect to the dealer's time, but also respect to the other buyers at the show trying to sell to?
Okay, can I say one more thing really fast
No,
before
absolutely
Cary
not.
answers this
No,
question?
no.
Because now that you said it that
Where's
way,
the damn mute button?
I want to give you guys a really good tidbit. I actually love it when I'm digging through a bargain box and somebody comes up with 100 cards and him and the dealer are working it out, because then I just when I'm done and they're working on that $2,000 deal, I'm like, I got a $50 sticker price. How about $25? And they're just like, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
so like,
okay.
I love that aspect of
Okay.
it. Please, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the right time when they're knee deep in that deal to be like, hey, I'm done, bud. How about $20? And they're like, yeah, sure, fine. And I'm out the way.
So let me try to elaborate on what Tim just said.
Hold on,
Tim is
get-
going to be
get Cary
hiding behind the
before he
bush or the
forgets the
garbage
question.
can in the corner, and then what he's going to do is he's going to wait for someone to come up to make a giant deal with 1,000 cards. He's going to jump out, dig through your bargain boxes, throw them in your face, and just say, with a handful of cash that I'm out.
Not give you any time to think and make a rational
Exactly.
decision.
Yeah.
I would say this: if you were bringing a box of 3,000 cards to, and I'm assuming they're not all like super high end stickered.
Sure,
It's
just
not like
let
a
me make
Zion
sure.
case full of just bangers.
Yeah.
You need to have like a price in mind. I would, in my opinion, I think that's the correct thing to do. Hey,
yeah.
I've got this box. I want 500, 100, 7,000, whatever. And then I think as a dealer, for the most part, it depends on how slow or busy the show is. Like, I would just skim through this stuff and see if generally it looks like it's in that value range and then go from there. I don't know. Unless it's, you could tell pretty quick if it's garbage or if it has potential. And if it's on the borderline, then maybe you're taking a little bit more time to look some stuff up. But I don't know if there's that's a good question. I don't know if it's bad etiquette to do that at a show where they're buying.
There's the etiquette.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what Tom has to say about that because I never really considered it.
A lot of the shows when you go into around us will let you either have a backpack or a Zion box or both. But that's pretty much the limit of what you can bring in. Well, the show we were talking about, or what Rod's referring to, I had a guy come up to me this weekend and brings up a Zion box and sets on my table, which is fine. I go through the Zion box, I start to look. He's like, okay, here's the next one. Brings up another one. He brought a whole wagon, Cary.
Oh,
He had 6 Zion boxes and 4 albums full of stuff in one touches, graded cards, all this stuff like clear full. And I'm like, buddy, I said, no offense, but I'm done buying from you. I won't purchase this. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, this is disrespectful to the show owner. You do not
Basically,
bring more. You
not
do
doing a
not
table.
bring more than a guy has at a table, and it's sell here. If we don't have these show promoters and these people doing this, we don't have shows. When you're carrying around a wagon full of Zion boxes, there's an etiquette. You've pushed it too far. And the show we
makes
were
sense.
at was a newer show that did great. If I'm telling you, I was a little nervous about going because it was new, but this guy, he pretty well nailed it for a first show. It was smaller, but he filled the room. It was good. I bought solid for 3.5 hours straight at this show. But there again, this guy's etiquette of if you're bringing more than a table load, you've pushed the etiquette over the edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a limit. I think that people should stop them at the door and just like, hey man, no wagons inside unless you got a table. Like, there's a difference. I'm a firm believer. I'm not saying I'm like that other guy in Florida, but you should be able to bring in Zion boxes. You should be able to bring in backpacks full that has the little Zion in it or whatever case you're using, Sell your stuff, trade stuff, part of the hobby. But when you're bringing in 3,000 cards of quality, no. buy a
I
table.
think I think that comes down to the actual show owner that, like you said, has to have things in place. And being a new show owner, he probably didn't know how to properly handle that, or probably never thought of that, but probably never crossed his mind, going in that.
Never crossed
But
his mind.
but let me ask you this, Tom. What is the proper for you? If I come up to your table, you're buying pretty much the top 10% of cards, whatever's most liquid. So someone brings up,
What's top 10% to me? It's not even.
I get that,
10%
but
of cards, but
okay.
what I like.
But if I come up with 100 cards, you may pull 10 to the side and want to buy those because that's the best going to be liquid for you.
Yeah.
But if I bring up a ton of stuff, that's just more stuff we look for. Other people behind you are waiting, and you might be better for you to have a smaller stack of each person to go through because you're looking at the best of the best. So for your perspective, what is the proper etiquette on that point of view?
I think a 3-row box is the perfect size for guys to bring up to go through. Like
so
I
Zion
can
box,
through a 3 or Zion or whatever, or even just like I don't want to say a 2-row shoebox, you know what I mean? But something smaller than that, like where I can just scroll through quick, and once you've done this for a while, you can sort through them pretty quick. It's like you guys going through the dollar boxes flipping. It doesn't take terrible long, but just don't extend that, you know what I mean? But my point is, respect the shows, respect these promoters. Like, these guys are out there doing all this time, this work to set up these shows for you. Do not take advantage of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's my whole point. Like, the more I'm doing this, the more I'm learning to respect these guys, do the right etiquette, help them expand their shows because it makes us more money. And if it's a good show, it brings in more customers and makes shows you guys want to come to.
How do you, as a buyer, like you're being a dealer and we're coming up, say me, Tim, and Cary walk up with a stack of cards to sell to you.
Yeah.
How do you want those organized? What's the best approach? So, because a lot of people that listen to the show, may pull some bangers from time to time. They want to sell them to a dealer, and they may have a stack of other cards they bring. So, how do you want those organized? What is the best approach for you when someone comes up to you that makes it more appealing to sell? And do they need to have a price in mind? Do they need to just have a stack from the best card to the worst? Like, how do you prefer?
I prefer it by sports.
Okay.
I like them when they're separated out by sports. So I'm not randomly in my head having to process all different sports at a time. And I also like it when they have a little bit of an idea what's going on. You guys have both seen me buy, like, we'll look up anything before I buy it. I'm not buying anything without a comp. But I think it's helped done by sort and also have an idea what you're looking for. And I'll tell you the reason I'm going to expand on that. At a show that Cary went to recently with the Rocket Con show, a guy come up to the table, had some gorgeous Steph Curry, some graded stuff, everything. Well, I was low on cards at that time after the Tampa show. The guy had no idea what he had. I showed him and his son the console and card ladder. I was needing cards for inventory. I offered the guy over 90% for the cards. So I've learned in time, once I make a crazy high offer like that, some of them were 95% to be honest, I take my sticker back off of them. Because when I'm going through his cards and we comp them, I put a little, whatever you call it, the little, what do they call it? The little
notes.
Post-it notes, yes. I put a little post-it note on it with the price of what the card's comping at. Well, this guy was like, he had no idea what he had, and the son was like, Dad, that's 95%. We did him off the last 3. We're not going to beat that. So the guy's like, I want to take him and go look at everybody else's table. So first thing I do is take off all my post-it notes because I'm not doing the work for other dealers.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds or whatever, I'm not doing the other dealers' work. But I've learned too, asshole moves, Tim would say, or whatever. If I make you a great offer like that, don't shop me the whole show, then come back. So the guy shows up 2 hours later and goes, here's my box of cards. Now they're all mixed up and assorted. You want to go through them again and make me that offer? No, man. I already wasted an hour with you, made you a strong offer, which was better than anybody else in the show. Now you want to come back and have me waste my time again with not even knowing he's actually going to sell them to me this time again.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is have a price in your head, at least have some idea, you know what I mean, of what's going on before you sell them.
That's good.
Not that it's like Rod was a perfect example this weekend. He sold me a card that thought was going for $35. I showed him the comps at 48 and 49. It was more than he had. But Rod had an idea of what he come in to what that card was selling for a couple weeks ago.
But I will also say, with that being said, you offer me more than what I originally wanted for the card.
Right.
But I stuck to,
you treated me right.
I treat you right. So let's just say if you offer me the card, I thought the card was selling for around 35 to $40 in the ballpark. I said I wanted $30 for it. You say, hey, I can actually pay you more. There's been some more recent comps. because we had a relationship together and because you have taken care of me multiple times before, I said, I appreciate you making the $40 offer. Just give me $30. It's yours, because I only had 25 cents into it. But the biggest thing I want people to take away from something like that is it's about building relationships with the dealers. And it goes both ways. Like we can't always, as buyers, go to shows and ask for discounts all the time and not give back to the dealers. And what I mean by that is it may not be sell the cards back to dealers, but at the same point in time is, if you're, hey, you cut me so many deals the last 4 shows, I'll pay full price for this, full price what you're asking for this stuff.
That happens all the time. Like I deal with the same.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm not. That's not how. Hell no.
Hold on. Go ahead, Cary. Say it.
No, I'm just saying I'm not the strongest negotiator, but like I've definitely, bought from Tom a few times and bought from a lot of people a lot of times. And every show, it's a little bit different. Sometimes the price you get, and I imagine, obviously, it depends on what they paid for those cards.
Sure, absolutely.
And as long as it's in the range where I can feel like I'm going to make money, I typically will take it. Or if I really need to take a little off, I'll negotiate. But I realize I'm not always going to get the same some days. Sometimes, like, I got a card at K&T's for a penny during Black Friday that sold for $27. And then there's other times I'm paying 10 cents for those cards. So, I mean, it's just everything depends on timing.
Did you really compare a penny card to a 10-cent card?
Yeah, because that's how cheap. If I could pay less than a penny, I would. Two for a penny deal.
I've taken some free cards before and flipped them.
2 for a penny. Let's do it.
All right, Tim, you're shaking your head. I got to hear your little rant.
No, there's nothing. I'm just,
you have to give back to the dealers sometimes.
I give back to the dealers all the time.
Okay. Well, then why'd you shake your head no to that?
Because I'm not going to be like, I'm going to pay full price.
I didn't say full price.
You did say full price.
Rod
said, go back and watch the tape. He said full price.
Okay, if I did say full price, I meant that it was a good price on it. I'm not going to.
I'm always going to pay a good price if it's a good price. I'm not.
Okay.
Like if I always, when I go to checkout, I have a number in my mind. Always. Right? So like if somebody says, and a lot of people will give me about this, especially in my videos, right? Like if I go to and I have a stack and I'm at $30 and the guy tells me 40, or even worse, the guy says 35, I'm gonna be like, how about 30? Right? Like 35 is a good price, but my number I had in mind was 30. So I'm going to shoot my shot at 30.
And if
they say no, then I'll pay 35. I'm not going to agree. Sometimes I have a good relationship with dealers.
Gotcha.
Right? Like from the get-go, even if it's the first time dealing with you, like you know how I am. I'm a people person. I'm a real talkative guy, right? Like, so like I'll be like if I say 30 and he says 35, I'll be like about 32. And then he'll be like 34 and I'll be like 33, right? And it ends up being like fun. And the dealer will laugh and I'll laugh, right? But people who are watching the video are like, I can't believe this guy. Like why didn't you just pay the $5? What are we doing here? Dude. And like I have dealers sometimes be like $32.50 and I'll be like $32.25, right? And like it's just sometimes I think that people, and this is the problem with the culture that we're in now, where like it's all this high end back and forth. People are nickel and diming over $1,000 cards because they're trying to buy a $1,000 card at $985 so they can sell it for $1,000 and make $10. Like
exactly.
Like
you're also framing it wrong.
In the world. But so like Tim, for me, the art of negotiation and the fun of negotiation has lost some of its shimmer, and I feel like people who are watching the videos who don't go to card shows every weekend don't understand that. Like that's part of going to a card show is negotiations. So
you're framing the negotiation wrong for, I think, a lot of people in the modern culture. Like I think you're doing negotiation right, but I'm saying people would not question you at all if you just put the coin flip element in it, right? Like how about 30 or 35 we coin flip? Because people love that stupid, or at least you think they do, because
that's all
everybody's doing
guys. I haven't seen coin flips in a while.
What are they doing? Dice? What are they doing now?
Nothing. I haven't seen a coin flip.
I would love it if we just rolled up and just started shooting craps at the card table.
I roll 11, I get it for free.
Guys, I haven't seen it.
Well, what if I just pull out a deck of cards and it'll be like, all right, high card.
Listen,
I'm sure people do. What I'm saying is people love. I don't like to do this. I'm just saying, but people like that little gambling angle in cards. Unfortunately,
What I heard was the dealers around Tim need to stick to their guns because he will pay the $5 extra.
Yeah, he will.
That is exactly what I heard.
So, true story. Me and Tim were in
That's
Virginia. We were going garage selling, and we came to a garage sale that had literally like 3 or 4 like 3,000 count box of cards. And Tim's digging through. I'm digging through. We're both making stacks and stuff like that. And the guy's like, Tim's like, what do you want for it? He's like, I don't know. I was thinking like 40 or 50 bucks, and Tim's like, I was thinking more like 20. And the guy's like, all right, what about 25? And Tim's like, 22. And the guy was like, what? He was so caught off guard. Tim's like, I'm just joking. I'll give you the 25. But to watch it unfold, because the guy didn't. It wasn't like the typical card show negotiation stuff. Like, the guy was so caught off guard because Tim tried to hit him with a 22 on it. I just laughed. So.
Like that's the thing is like, and both these guys have seen me like in my raw element, whether it's for cards or regular stuff. Like,
yeah, you
to
put
me, that's
tape on your nipples. We all see your raw element.
I've seen it raw.
we should tell the story.
that's the whole thing about me is that like I approach the tables the same way, right? Like some of these people approach a table and it's just like this, like they think they're going to a freaking conference room and they're sitting down on the other end with like suits, right? Like I don't approach cards like that. I approach it in a different manner, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I get so much respect with dealers, and I get along with so many dealers, and dealers take care of me time and time again because I'm naturally a nice person, and I have conversations with the dealers. A lot of that goes in. People don't understand is that you start negotiations before the negotiations even start by the way that you carry yourself at a table.
Say that louder for the people in the back to hear, my friend, because that's
but not actually louder because you're incredibly loud.
Yeah, you're incredibly loud. Yeah, but so we'll get to you here in a second, Tom, on this. But like, I think that's very important. What Tim just said is because when I go to a card show, like if I'm going to spend time digging through someone's box and take up space at their table, I want to make sure that there's some type of understanding before I start digging into it. You know what I mean? Like if I start digging through, if the dealer's not talking to me, well, I'll start talking to him and I'll ask him, hey, if I put together a stack, would you work with me or something? Like, oh yeah, absolutely. Or I love when I walk up to the table and the guy's like, you see the sticker prices? They're negotiable. Or they say, hey, you know what? Make a stack. If you make a stack together, I'll work with you. So they're enticing me to want to buy more. So like, Tom, like from your perspective, how do you handle that at the show? Do you like when people walk up and ask you beforehand, would you work with you? Or are you telling guys, hey, I'll work with you to make a deal if you buy more?
No, I like it when people communicate with me for sure.
Okay.
Like we talked about last time, the biggest thing I hated was when somebody comes up and they scan a card. And remember when we were talking about the comp thing, and they just walk by and assume what your comp is. Don't do that. Communicate with the dealers. Communicate with us. If I'm busy buying with the guy, don't be afraid to go, hey man, hey, can you do a deal if I put this, lot out of your bargain boxes or whatever together? For sure. Ask. You know what I mean? Start communication. Even if it doesn't even have to be about the card price. It could just be a communication about anything while you're standing there. And you're going to get a better deal from me if you're communicating with me.
So this is something I actually just thought as we're sitting here.
Wait, before you think of something, Cary said, I feel like Cary had a good story he wanted to tell.
I have. Story. This is a classic story, and you know what I'm going to say probably, Tim, is we were at, what was it, like a church sale. Was it a year and a half ago? This is a great story, though. And I have it on film somewhere. I mean, we might have shared it on No Bangers or something.
We actually have it as a short on here. People can actually go watch the short.
Exactly. So go check out the short. But
once you listen to the full length of the podcast, then go watch the short.
Exactly. It was the Tim encapsulated, like it made me so uncomfortable, but it was so funny at the same time. Like we were going up and it was $1 parking, and Tim like just totally seriously is like, I'm gonna get a deal or whatever, and he goes up, the guy, and he's like, hey, will you do 50 cents on the parking at a church sale that's going to like raise money for the church, right? And then my favorite part is the guy didn't even bat an eye. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, the power of the ask. I learned a lot from Tim at that moment because I'm like, I never even would have thought of doing that, because it's $1. But Tim's like, no, 50 cents.
At a donation church sale. I would have never thought of that.
I think the biggest takeaway from there is the power of the ask does go a long way. And what's the worst they can say is no, and you're in the same position you are now. So like always ask. Like don't be afraid to ask the dealer. And depending what mood it is, sometimes you can get a better deal than what you even expect.
I struggle with that so much still. And I've been a reseller for 15 years and I still hate with a passion negotiating. But sometimes I feel like I have to do it, but I'm not good at it at all.
So one thing that have been discussing, and I don't know if this is because of just coming off the holidays here and stuff like that, but how packed the recent car shows that we've been going to and how difficult it's becoming sometimes to buy from bargain boxes or to find bargain boxes. So Tom, from your perspective, you're at the car show, you're set up there early, you're getting there hours before you guys open the doors.
Yeah.
Give us a breakdown here. What's going on before the, I mean, how many transactions are actually happening before we even get through that front door? And what trends are you starting to see with the bargain boxes at these shows? Are we starting to see more of like a corporate takeover, some of these bigger repackers or dealers at the show buying up these bargain boxes so we can't even get them before we get in the front door? Or kind of give us a breakdown, because I know you've had multiple offers on your tables kind of before show starts sometimes.
Yes. And granted, I'm not hitting the dollar boxes like you guys, but I'm there. I see them. I think I'm seeing them less and less. Just dollar boxes in general down here. Like besides K&T bringing all their tables full of them, you may see one box at a guy's table or a box here or a box there. There's not tables full of them like there was even 2 years ago when I started. And I don't know if that's the whatnot guys buying them up or how liquid I can't even guess how many guys are on Dibdit Cards, shout out Dibdit Cards, or whatnot or anybody else. But how many guys now are doing $2 auctions, $3 auctions? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where the cards are at, but I agree that you're not seeing them at the shows now. But there is so much transaction before the show starts. Like there's a lot. Like,
I mean, the normal person doesn't see, like, they're all waiting in line outside for an hour, half an hour before the show starts. So, like, can you elaborate on that? Like, how much? I mean, are we talking just like small buys? Or are we talking like people like getting half their inventory cleared out before the show starts?
Half their inventory.
Wow.
There's like people who buy tables at shows and don't set up. They just buy the table so that they can get early vendor access.
Correct. Well, at the show at Tampa, I did the show right after Christmas where you guys were talking about shows being busy. That show was insane. It was standing room only on Saturday. You couldn't get down the aisles. I had an offer 2-3 times Saturday to buy out my whole tables. We did really well Saturday. Then we come in Sunday morning and I was still getting hammered to sell the table, and I ended up selling every card we had at 10 o'clock that day. We left the show, went and bought, and it was an insane show. But the only problem with that was I had to be at the Rocket Con 4 days later, and I had 24 foot of tables reserved at Rocket Con with 0 cards.
Do you have a different perspective or different strategy when you're at a card show when they have a 6-foot table compared to an 8-foot table?
Yes.
Because is there a big difference in that?
There's
your strategy?
A huge difference.
Really?
Huge difference. It hurt me this weekend having 6 foot.
Okay.
The 6-foot table, and especially for a guy that buys, like, how can I get enough cards out to sell on a 6-foot table? Rod, you seen my setup this weekend. Sure. It was actually on my new Instagram account too. I had 3 of the Zion cases set lengthwise on the table.
Stop you right there for 1 second. What's your Instagram so people can follow you?
Big Tom Sports Cards.
Big Tom Sports Cards on Instagram, guys. Go follow.
Yeah, we're just starting the Instagram up. But so I've got 3 Zion cases set out. Well, now I've got a guy coming up, and I have a little mat for him to put their Zion box on, so that covers up some of my showcases. My laptop's out covering the showcases because I was right back against the wall, so I couldn't put another table or anything beside of me. So I basically lost one whole showcase of sale anytime I'm selling something. Then by the time a guy's sitting beside of it, in a 6-foot show, you really don't have the room.
Do you bring stuff to put under the table, right?
As far as what, Tim? Like more cards and stuff? Or?
Yeah. Because I know a lot of people. Like, I gotta ask, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I got you," and then, like, you know, they'll pull a box out for me from underneath the table and stuff like that, because, like you said, sometimes space is so limited that like some people don't bring stuff, but a lot of times people like know that I'm gonna be there. They'll bring a box, and then they might not put it on the table, but like when they see me, they're like, "Hey, I got a box for you." And
they're like, that's a dude right there that's going to pay 30 cents a card. Let's load him up.
Load him up.
I mean, that's I'll pay for your table spot in bargain box cards, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like, if you give me as long as we're at like 30, to 60 cents a card, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we got some big shows, Tim. I'm willing to fly you down here to see you buy me out at some of these shows coming up with some of these table fees. Let's play this game.
Listen, how far away are you from Miami?
Always.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what, guys, 2.5, 3 hours at least, probably 3 or more.
Okay, because our guy Tommy B over at Solid Gold Sports Cards, he's got there's a big show that they're doing in Miami, and it is at the I told him I would gotta show my guy Tommy some love here. It's January 31st at the Miami County Fairgrounds, and it is $40 per table for 8-foot tables. And $25 for each additional table. And they also have a trade night the night before. So big shout out to the Miami County Cavalcade of Cards show.
I thought that was extremely cheap for tables. So Tom,
last weekend was.
Okay, no, but I'm saying what he just said though for tables. I know last week you said it was cheap, but so that we know from a buyer's perspective, coming up to your tables, how much are you investing going to a show? So like when you walk in that front door, you're already in the negative, because you have your table, you have you're buying food that day, but put that to the side. You gotta eat anyway. How much are you paying for on average per table up there, and how many tables you're getting per show? So like that goes into factoring negotiations with a lot
Before
of
you answer that question, how many times do you how many piss breaks do you take as a dealer? 0 piss breaks.
But I'm a different. I had kidney problems when I was little. I can actually go a full day without peeing.
Okay, so that's a different
I feel
story.
like I would be a truck driver if I did a show.
Yeah,
I would just have the bottles.
Because you
even
talked
need
about giving back to the dealers. I do that, right? So for a
Do you
lot
hold
of,
it while they pee? Like what are you talking about?
for
Tim?
a lot
What are you
of
doing?
for a lot of my guys who
Weird
are like
transition.
a lot of my guys at the shows, especially the bigger shows, right?
They
Because you
line
guys
up
know
for it?
I go to a lot of bigger shows than you guys go to.
You're a big deal.
So,
we get it.
so like I'll be like, yo, you need to grab you a drink, grab you a sandwich. If you need to take a piss, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll stand behind the table and watch their table for them. If they don't have anybody, let them go piss. You know what I'm saying? Bring them a soda, bring them a sandwich. I always offer that to my guys I'm like real tight with. So I figured, you guys think I'm a douchebag. I'm not. I help
You're
people
not.
take pisses and I help
not.
people eat. Okay, so
So
all right, now on
give-
to Rod's question. Sorry,
give
Rod.
We're gonna get you that shirt
liver-
for the national. For the national, I'm gonna help you piss and eat, and then you just walk around.
You remember those mesh shirts we used to wear in high school? It was like the football jersey, but it was like mesh. That's what I want him in. Full nipples
Oh, yeah,
out,
just
white
the mesh,
football
the
jersey.
cutoff
Yeah,
belly
the
button
cut
one.
off football. Like
Yeah, we can
white,
put I'll
that's
help
what
you
he
piss
needs.
and eat.
with painter shapes on the nipples.
Well, yeah, no
Exactly.
bangers on the back. painters.
Exactly.
No, I don't want no bangers. No. First off, I don't want to be associated with him in public.
No, we could advertise the Bangtown show on that one. I
Bang-
feel.
No,
I'm
Absolutely
telling you guys,
not.
still, my whole thing is for national. We gotta have the motorized scooters, and we'll have everybody like buy sponsorship places on the scooter where you can put your sticker or your magnet
Could it be-
for a certain amount of money.
Could we have 2 sidecars and just all of us go down the aisle together?
Nice.
As long as it's like a horde, and just somebody. I need a megaphone too. No
No.
bangers, and we're just riding through with a little power scooter.
We'll have like a
gotta-
Papa shop. We'll be like a traveling breaker table. We'll have a Papa shop in the back, pop a shot in the back. People can like win a free nothing. We don't have anything
Remember
to give, but
that Starbucks commercial back in the day? The guy used to walk around the big boom box. We'll have like Born to Be Wild or something playing as like
exactly. We'll have
driving
Oh,
through.
dude,
with us.
I've seen all types of stuff, like the big shows, like guys who walk around with backpacks, and in their backpack is like a
LED screen?
plexiglass
Yeah.
case box, and
Yeah.
there's like a slab rotating around of it.
every aisle we go down is going to be the Bangtown parade. Just everyone. Just we're going to have like
How do you guys feel about people wearing slabs as necklaces?
it's douchey.
Ugh.
I
Yes.
mean, if
That's
it's worth
polite,
$7
but
million,
that's polite.
you can do whatever you want with it.
Well, I'm not
do
talking
whatever-
about the Pauly boy. I saw a post where people were like, they're slinging these slab necklaces.
I mean, he made it famous, so that's why they're doing it. So I don't know.
I feel
Would
like
you
he struck
wear-
a nerve.
I feel like
think
Rod-
Rod's
Rod
been.
would-
I feel like
Rod would
Rod's
wear
been teetering on wanting to see if he can get away with it. Like, see if we would make fun of him, and it's been verified. We will roast you if you do it.
Yeah.
Cut off sleeves, just a tattoos.
You already have the douchiest tattoos in the world, which, just for the record, you have
debatable, but
tribal,
alright.
and you have like I don't even know what the other one is.
You know, if he's got a tribal
And then you
tattoo,
got the
PSA
shamrock
9.
lower back tattoo. So you got the
Somebody
whole, you got
said
the
that
trio.
we should make disposable tattoos as part of our merch.
That would be cool. We should do that. That is awesome. I love it.
Oh, man. Now, I don't even know the question I even asked Tom.
Don't worry about it. Don't
Sorry
worry
about
it.
that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're
I
good,
think
man.
you were asking about prices of tables or something like that.
Price of the tables, man. Like what?
That was a
Don't
good
you have
question,
like
I thought.
a call sheet to read from in front of you or something?
Not today. We're just going off the cuff
Okay,
today, my
just
friends.
double-checking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
he's gonna be no prep today. He's just like, come on, talk.
yeah, come and talk.
The
But, I mean, listen, you did good the first time, and you're able to put up this complete and utter nonsense. I don't know how. I
Yeah.
can barely. I'm here every week, and I can barely deal with it. So
I mean, I feel like we have a good fun time when you come on,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
well, my mom taught special ed for a while, so I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying?
nicely played. All right,
did
so. But
Yeah.
I talk about your investment going into card show because I know that impacts how you can sell cards and buy cards at that show. So like, what is your average buy cost? Like you're getting 2 tables, 3 tables. Like what are you doing per show?
I was doing 2 everywhere we went. Then after I did the big sellout in Tampa, where I was short on cards, I went down to 1 to 8-foot table, and I've actually got that working pretty well for me right now. And it still seems to be making good money. Then so I've allowed my buddy Big Mike, that hangs out with me all the time too.
Yeah.
He's been taking my other table because I still buy 2 everywhere we go. Then if I don't have it filled up, I let Big Mike sell some cards off the other table. But I think
You guys like the Bass Bros.
Yeah. Well, his wife makes Snackle boxes.
What is a
sweet.
Snackle box?
Oh
I'm
my god,
intrigued.
Tim, you would love this.
Yeah.
By the way,
This is
I've
taken
seen
care of
it.
a dealer.
It's got.
They're like
We're
big
talking
Play-Doh
food,
boxes.
right?
So imagine like a fishing box, like your lures and stuff.
Yeah.
But fill it full of M&Ms and Twinkies and Snickers. And
Oh yeah. Do I get the? I have to buy the whole box.
Yeah, she brings the whole box every day.
Yeah.
Then I
So
have
how
my
much
own
is a
that has
box?
My logo on it, huh?
How much is the box?
She don't sell them. She makes them and brings them to us. So I have
Oh
my
man,
own personal
that
Snackle
doesn't
box.
help me. I wear
No,
a Snackle box when
No.
I'm.
No, he's saying next time she brings them to the show, you guys should put it up for sale. If anyone wants their own box,
You want to buy?
No,
it? Dude, there's some things that's not for sale.
Just
That's
get
my
a
PC.
tackle box and
PC.
just put your favorite candies in it, Tim.
Yeah. That's what
Wait,
you
we
need
go
in your
really
backpack.
good with my fishing vest.
They'll be like, "Are you carrying a tackle box full of cards to show people?" You're like, "No, this is just my snacks."
This is my Snackle box.
Yeah, then
my
you want to treat
Snackle.
dealers right. You hand out some snacks.
Or get a Zion case just for snacks. Could you
I
imagine
mean,
what a hit that
ask
would
Cary
be?
and Rod. I supplied snacks for the entire national.
You do.
I would say.
You're always clutch with the fruit snacks. I usually eat 25 of your 50 packs every time we hang out. Here's the thing, though. Would this not be a hit, though, if you were walking around at a big show with just snacks in a Zion case and you just put that at the table? You'd be able to sell those 2 or 3
Bro,
times. comps
Josie's
every
always telling
time.
me, she's like, I'm just like, because Josie makes some empanadas, and I'm just like, we could just set up shop selling empanadas. Like, I mean, it was like people will go crazy. Because listen, when you at the card show, I go to the card show. I'm at the card show, open to close generally, right? Like,
Yeah.
and like
Somebody
not
brings
all
me
these
a hot
places
empanada. They could charge me $15. I'd buy it.
Yeah, because some of these places, like, I got a lot of people who look out for me. So, like, when I was at Philly, my man Tyler, shout out Bel Air Sports Card Shop, best card shop in the world. My man, I was just digging through a bargain box, and he just walked up, and he was like, yo, I got egg, bacon, and cheese sandwich right here. What's your name on it? And I was like, yo, and I was just, the cheese was melting in my beard, and this guy came up to me, and he was like, I listened to the podcast, and I mean, I'm like mouth full of cheese and bacon, and it's all in my mustache, and I'm just like, I love it, man. Thank you, man. But
I was wondering why we had someone unsubscribe this week. That makes more sense. Okay,
There we go.
but Tom,
so we
what's
got sidetracked.
what's your
Let's
average
go back
cost?
to the actual question.
It's taking like 22 minutes to answer this one damn question. Thank you, Jackass 1 and Jackass 2.
I usually try to buy 2 tables. At minimum lately, you can get them a little bit cheaper every once in a while, unless it's the mall show. They're going to be anywhere from $100 to $250 a table.
damn.
Wow. So
Like the
you're saying that
fairground
you
shows, which is like the biggest show around, like we literally just paid our tables for that. Actually, I have 3 tables because Big Mike's going in with me too. But we paid $675 for 3 tables at the fairgrounds.
at the fairgrounds. Wow. So you're already $700 deep into these tables, and if you're
Is that
selling
2 days
cards,
or 1 day?
It's 3
that's
days.
a
3 days. Okay,
But
and that's for all 3 days.
The Sundays, and
Yeah,
I'm not knocking the
so.
show. I love the show. It's the best show in Florida as far as I'm concerned. But the Sundays are rough, guys. because a lot of dealers bail out and go home, and a lot of the people don't come. So the Sundays to me is kind of like a bonus day. So I basically call it a 2-day.
This is
And
something
that's
we
not
we
knocking
actually
it. It's a great show, but it's
yeah.
your third day is just kind of what
Well,
it is.
I get it because a lot of people get bought out. They why go back there and set up. But we actually had this debate here on a couple weeks back here, and as one of my biggest pet peeves is when I go to a card show and the dealers are leaving early because like if you're advertised from 3 to 8 and your dealer's packing up at 6:37 leaving, well that person's getting off work on a Friday at 5. It doesn't take an hour to get there through rush hour, so they're coming in just to experience that last hour or 2 hours left, and now they do it. So like. Is there any car shows you go to? Is there any rules in place by like the promoter? Like you have to be there?
I don't know if it's a rule, but I will tell you, we don't do that.
I know
And what
you
it's
don't,
got me by not doing that is I get way better table locations the next time. So you not being a dealer, that the perks you get from the vendors, not the vendors, but the promoters, it does pay off to you. They don't come out and punish the other table people for being whatever you want to say, bad or whatever, leaving early, but it does benefit all the other people in the building.
I'm like a star quarterback if I'm at a card. If I'm a dealer at a card show.
I'm not a star quarterback anywhere.
If I'm at a card show, I am if I'm selling at a card show, I will be the first person at the door to set up, and I'll be the last person to leave. That would be how I would operate as a card
MJ of card shows.
Yeah,
like that's just how I would roll because like. I in my opinion, like there's so many opportunities at a card show, and like I some people have FOMO of like downtowns, right? For me, I would have the biggest FOMO. Like I would have to be like I want to be there before the promoter gets there. So like when the promoter walks up to come open a door, he's like, "Damn." Right, I'm right there, ready. Let's go. Show me where I'm at, right? And then like I want to be the last person leaving. Like, I'm going to be the last person out the door. Like, the promoter's, like, sitting and standing in front of my table. Like, bro, like, what are we doing? It's time to go. Like, that's going to be who I am if I'm selling at a card show.
Yeah. I do think it is an issue. I wish more people would commit to the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, it affects us. And it affects people coming into the shows when it really affects all the other dealers. So when dealers start leaving early, it affects my sales that I'm not leaving because people may come up, especially if it's a show that's paid to get in or they paid to park. People just quit showing up, and it hurts.
Let me ask you one more question, though.
Yeah. Just one this time?
Yes. I know sometimes my one questions turn into multiple questions. Shit. I lost it.
Has your hat been rotating this show?
What's that?
It usually just does it's according to the time of
That's how I know our show's coming to an end.
It gravitates towards the sun.
Yeah.
It's a nice one though. Nice little vintage Washington Redskins.
Well, I
starter.
have a question for you. Cary, the guys at the Space Coast show that did the Rocket Con show, those guys have been taking a lot of input from the dealers and stuff. What did you think of the last show with the sports cards having their own little room to the side?
There wasn't enough sports cards, is what I think. But I'm also.
Let me finish my question first. To be honest, though, they only had 2 weeks together sports cards. So they only promoted sports cards for 2 weeks for that show because it was supposed to be all Pokemon.
Okay.
And a lot of Pokemon dealers backed down.
Okay. So well, then that makes more sense.
Yes. But I thought they did well. I mean, I want to hear your opinion, but
about how the show went, like.
As far as you thought it was being completely separated.
No, that's how it should be, in my opinion. I think you totally separate the two because there's two different buyers, and some of us definitely go into both. I don't really look at the non-sports typically, but there are people who do. But I think if you're doing that, what I would love in a perfect sense from a promoter would be separate areas. Obviously, you don't necessarily have separate rooms, but like a separate area, so like where to find the sports cards. Generally, I understand there could be some mixture in there. Because some Pokemon dealers are going to have some sports cards and vice versa. But for the most part, and I would and this maybe does not benefit them to do this, but it would be awesome for me, would be a breakdown. Like, okay, we got 100 tables, 70 Pokemon tables, 30 sports card tables. So I can make a judgment. I don't know if they would ever want to do that, but it was a lot less sports cards. Like, I wouldn't have went down to Melbourne if I knew it was going to be that few tables. And it was also kind of a tough show to buy at overall for me. But I also thought Rocket Con, I was also a little bit in the air about, like, I was had the impression that it was going to be heavier Pokemon, to be fair. And it kind of was. but that's fine.
I remember my question.
Hold on, let me ask one more on that. Have you noticed, Tim, that Pokemon's going down in your area? It's going down here.
No, it's not necessarily gone down, but I think that show promoters have realized that they need to be more transparent, and I think there's new promoters that are popping up, realizing that they have an advantage if they put together all TCG shows as opposed to trying to have Pokemon and sports together, which might be one of the reasons why you're seeing a downtick in Pokemon at shows. Rod just got delivery. How many cases you got today, bud?
What did you get?
This is my
Get
question.
22-23 Flux basketball.
Tim, going back to that too, I was going to say I think also too with Walmart and Target putting limitations on the amount of Pokemon you can actually get from stores, that keeps these guys from scalping all the different stores and setting up and selling those at shows now too, because Walmart puts a limit of five items.
How much are Prism football blasters, by the way?
40.
When I got my case, the hobby ones, I paid $37 a blaster for hobby.
I paid $40 this week at Walmart. I think it was. Walmart,
that's a retail one though. I bought the. I got the green. Yeah, I got the green.
They were doing 55 at the card show. This week.
That's about right for the hobby ones or the retail.
I don't know what they were. I just saw Prison football. But this is my question. Before I forget my question, I want to forget my question. It's an important question. Okay, so I was at a card show this couple weeks ago, and it was an interesting layout because I feel like they booked more tables than they should have. So you walked into the show, and there was 2 hallways, one to your right, one to your left, and then those hallways went down. So it was basically like an outside ring of the inside area, and the inside area was wall-to-wall cards, wall-to-wall tables, rows, and everything like that. And then you had the dealer set up on the outside. My brain is weird. So like I immediately went right down the hallway instead of going into the main room because I figured more people will probably go in the main room. I'll be able to hit these people first. And I ran into one of my guys, nice guy, sets up at a lot of the big shows here on the East Coast and everything like that. He was irate that he was put in that spot. Like he came, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to speak for him, irate, but he seemed disappointed. Because, he drove hours, like 2-3 hours to come to set up at this show. And that's the spot he had. And like, he realized early that there was going to be no traffic at that spot. How do you deal with that? Is that something that is predetermined when you pay for your spot at a show? Or do you find out the day of? And is there any sort of negotiations with that as far as, getting there and being like, there's no way I'm going to set up in this alley right here when there's going to be no how does that work?
You really don't have a choice of it. The only way you have a choice, and I'm against having a choice this way, is the shows that use the simple ticks. So there's the one I talked about before where you can go on, you pick your little table. Mm-hmm. But when you pick your little table where you're at, you don't know who's beside of you. So you don't know if you're in a row with all Pokemon. You may have picked a great table corner location, but everybody around you is selling Pokemon. So I don't like that either. But when you show up to a show, you have no idea. There's only one show that I attend that I know where my table's going to be. All the rest is a shot in the dark. And I can tell you,
I will tell you a lot of the shows I go to, the local shows, the dealers, I'd say 80% of the time are set up in the same location every show.
We have one show that's that way. The pocket show is the only one that's in the same place every time.
Okay.
But I will say, when you went into the building and you turned to the right, this is me studying everything again. Every store you go to in your life, when you go into the store, you almost turn to the right because the checkouts and stuff are to the left. So with your buddy being to the right, at least he had a chance to see you first. Feel bad for the guys on the left because then they're even your head to go to the left.
That's what's crazy is that the side on the left was cranking.
Really? Usually it's not that way. Usually when you go into the show, you want to be to the right of the door when you walk in. Because when you walk into something, think about all the stores you go, Target, Walmart, wherever you're going to go. You're going to the right.
Yeah, but
So
what
just
if, but
in general, you open up a door, the first thing you're going to do is go down the right-hand aisle.
But
Usually it's the
everybody
people on
was
the left.
funneling straight in because that's where the big room was,
gym
full of
was,
all the
yeah.
cards, all the other vendors.
But I'm surprised to hear there was people on the left side. That's
I figured the key was to have, I don't know, an 8 to 10 foot flag that just says Labubu's. So that you're gonna just get all the traffic funneled.
Do you have a buying sign at your table?
Oh yeah, it's huge. You got to. And since I got the big one, I've got a 6-footer that's like behind the table. I've got a little one on the table. It's amazing. Like I'll have the huge 6-foot sign behind me. I'll have the one on the table, and the guy will look me straight in the eyes and go, "You buying?"
I think you need to put a pirate flag with a fan that just flaps in the wind, and it's like, I'm buying.
I was thinking
so
about
they
getting
know.
one of them flailing arm guys. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yes.
Oh, dude, we should sponsor Big Tom and have a No Bangers Sports
That's
Card
right, No
Podcast
Bangers.
pirate flag at his table every
Yeah,
show.
I love
I
it.
like the guy that
thought
They're
just
gonna
Just
think
one
he's selling
guy,
One
yeah.
Piece then.
with one nipple.
Oh yeah, let's get the inflatable guy. That's even better.
Yeah, the inflatable guy.
with his Sharpie shirt that says no bangers on it.
Yeah, dude, I'd rock that at the shows. You talk about bringing attention.
Well, with that note, I think we have gone completely downhill, Tom. I'm going to apologize to you for wasting your time for the last hour and a half because hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Though we do love having Big Tom on, and we'll have him again.
He's the man.
Later
My
on.
boy
in the
is
year.
still in the playpen and has not cried
That's
throughout
awesome.
the entire podcast. I'm home alone with the boy today, so shout out to Camden
Shout
and
out
Miss
to
Rachel.
Tom's-
Shout out Miss Rachel.
and Tom's sweet, sexy voice that put him
Yeah,
at
it's just
ease.
soothing.
So,
Yeah.
it's soothing.
He's
him,
like, my
so.
dad's got his nipple on again. I'm sleeping.
Yeah, so Tom, and you want anything you want to shout out here? Your Instagram page, any shows you're coming up to?
Yeah, if you guys would follow me on my new Instagram, Big Tom Sports Cards. And this weekend we'll be at Apaca for the Orlando Sports Card Show. Next weekend we'll be at the Villages. And the weekend after that, I'll be at a new show to me in Jensen Beach.
Nice.
All right.
Put on by MVP Sports Cards down there.
Okay.
Those guys, seems like it's going to be a good show. So
Any final words for you two idiots? No?
Yeah, www.dibditcards.com, America's favorite place to buy and sell trading cards. Make sure you guys come check us out. And don't forget to, I need more people on my Facebook, man. Over the years, sports
we gotta
on
get that
Facebook.
monetized,
I'm
man.
only like 9,500 people away from monetization. So I could use the 1.3 thousand of you that listen to this podcast. That would literally that'd be a huge help. So I love you guys. And maybe I'll send you something free if you do that. But yeah.
I'm doing
Shout out Snackle boxes too.
Yeah, Snackle boxes.
Snackle
I'm
And
doing
shout out to our members. We didn't shout any of our members
I
out
was just
today.
about to do that. You want to quick read it off the
Yeah. Let me read off the list. I'm gonna read off the list. This time we're gonna do it because it's at the end of the show. We're gonna do it like how they do, like in those commercials where they have to tell you something, but they don't
Yeah.
want you to hear what
Yes.
they say. I'm
Go.
gonna say it like
Let's
that.
do it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Todd Carte 1971 AEW cards. Flip 3616 says Vintage Sport flips with no S. Buster Chest Test Sports Custom Chef Neon Penguin Cardboard Bambino. Where's the inside Big Tom D? Z Money 1167 Value Box Loaded X Sports Cards. Brown Jordan Shakes 1994 Lex and Philly B Go Chrono Rick Bargain Box. We got Derek Kramer. Austin Nautical 2575 PB Sports Cards. Yam starts to take 2-1 and Chubby Uncle Rico.
Wow, you should the Micro Machine died and it was reinvented in
Yeah,
you at
exactly,
that time.
dude. Shout
Like,
out
that's the Micro Machine.
Shout out Micro Machine guy.
The Micro Machine guy from the commercials. All right, we're ending on that note, guys. Get your hands in, Tom. Get your hands
Everybody.
in.
All right, no baggers on 3. 1, 2, 3, no baggers.
Bangers! Do it at home.